We'll go ahead and move on to consent. We have items A through E. I understand on item E, Councilmember Davis, Laura has asked for staff for a little bit of an update on that. Are there any other items that wish to be pulled for a separate vote? If not, any items for comments or questions? Okay, so why don't we go ahead and first go to item E, which is adopt the resolution accepting the 2018 street rehabilitation project as complete, authorizing the filing of notice completion with the San Mateo County Recorder's Office, and authorizing release of the construction contract retention in the amount of $180,064.08. Councilman Laura.
I think it's an important agenda item, and I think we need to have visibility, and I'd like to have staff just speak a little bit on behalf of that project.
Thanks. Good evening, Honorable Mayor, members of the City Council. Jimmy Tan, Public Works Director. In regards to this project, the city resurfaced about 3.6 centerline miles and also included the installation of 57 accessible curb ramps as part of this project. Back in August 28th in 2019, the City Council approved a construction contract with G. Bartolotto and Company in the amount of a little bit over $3.5 million. And we also had a construction contingency of about 15%, which is about $550,000. And also we contracted with the material and testing company, Pavement Engineering, for about $150,000. After the work was completed recently, the city only had a change order of about 1% on this project, about $36,500 for some unforeseen conditions and work scope changes. The total final contract is about $3.6 million. So with this contract that has to be closed out, we're requesting the acceptance of this project so that we can release the retention on this project. The total budget for the entire project was about $4.7 million. Right now, we have approximately $670,000 remaining in the project budget, which will be used for the next paving project. For regards to the curb ramps, those are a requirement that's by the Department of Justice. So anytime we alter a roadway through reconstruction or resurfacing, we need to install these accessible curb ramps. So that's the reason why we installed 57 of those as part of this project. But if we have done a slurry seal or any potholing repairs, we wouldn't be required to do that at all. The city spent about $450,000 for these curb ramps, and they're not cheap, but it's something that we had to do. So this concludes my presentation. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you very much, Jimmy. I mean, it's an expensive project that we don't get a lot of work done. So it's $4 million, and when you look at the number of streets that we're actually able to pave, it's 10 streets, and with that comes all this additional work. So I want to thank your team for the good work, and we know it's needed, and we'll continue to do it and chip away at all the streets in San Bruno. Thank you.
Thank you.
Michael?
Thank you. So, Jimmy, I had submitted a question previously, and you had given me an answer to that. And so I was wondering about why a 2018 program was just barely being approved now. And then I did notice, as Linda had brought up, that our contracts do include the penalty for late delivery. But you did explain in there that we volunteered to delay the program so that we wouldn't have to repave things that were in progress. And so because we were able to coordinate some of those competing programs, that we were able to do the paving once, and that's why it was late. So in case anyone's wondering why 2018 is just being approved, I thought I would just reiterate what you had told me. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
Marty?
Yes, thank you. Paving's tough. I can tell you from working here that a lot of it still needs to be done. My question for you is, and I know we can deal with this more also in the budget, but where in the process are we of identifying the next round of paving? I understand that with the passing of Measure G, we potentially have another funding source. But where do you think the amount of the next phase is set to, what size of project are you anticipating?
Yeah, so we'll be coming shortly after the bid is completed for the slurry seal project. I don't know the exact, the total contract costs yet, or total estimate for that project. That's something that I can get you if you're interested. Then in addition to that, the city will be coming forward next month to award the projects to use the SB1 funds. That's the Senate Bill 1 fund. So there's a total of approximately $830,000 that we're anticipating to get as part of that project. And a while back ago, through the city's council subcommittee meeting, city council subcommittee, we're dedicating to use the SB1 funds for a lot of these field streets, which are PCI under 40. So with that $830,000, we're anticipating to do only 3 streets, unfortunately, for that amount of work. So we'll be coming to council during April to award a contract, to award the SB1 funds to be able to use, for those 3 streets.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Okay, any other questions or any action on consent?
Move to approve?
Second.
Motion made and second to approve the consent calendar. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? I hear a 5-0 voice vote to approve.